What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We're back here on Madden 25, continuing with our offseason rebuild series. We just did the very first one yesterday with the Tennessee Titans, who secured the #1 overall pick, and now today we'll be talking about the Cleveland Browns, who hold the #2 overall selection. Obviously, this team is a very rough spot quarterback-wise. They made the big trade for Deshaun Watson. That did not work out whatsoever. They did not have a good season. They have a lot of good players, and this could be turned around very quickly if done right, potentially. So let's go ahead and jump in and do this Cleveland Browns offseason rebuild in Madden 25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. So obviously, when it comes to Cleveland Browns, they were a team that was built to win. That's why they made the big trade for Deshaun Watson in the first place. They just needed a quarterback. They gave up on Baker Mayfield. Obviously, we know how good Baker's been in Tampa. But Cleveland, they decided to move on. Didn't want to keep him around. They went for Deshaun Watson. No one could really blame them at the time, in my opinion, but obviously it backfired. It did not work out whatsoever. And if you didn't notice already, Madden has the Commanders beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. Just for this video they do. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool if that happened as a Commanders fan, obviously, as you guys, most of you know. But let's go ahead and get straight into things with Cleveland. Like I said, they'll be picking #2 overall. You assume the Titans may take a quarterback. They may trade down. The Browns will probably be taking a quarterback too, but we'll see how it all unfolds. Well, let's get into the resigning stage to start things off. So Nick Chubb, the problem with Nick Chubb, he's had two gruesome season-ending injuries the last 2 years. I find it very hard to believe that Cleveland would resign him to a big contract. If he signed like a smaller contract, maybe. So we can maybe get behind that. But I can't offer him too much money. Like, we can try to get him back, and he's going to stick around for that. So I was not going to offer him a big contract. Jedrick Willis. Now, we don't have a ton of money to work with, as you guys can tell. And they already fired their offensive coordinator. I think they fired someone else as well. But only $16 million to work with, which doesn't give us the ability to re-sign like pretty much any of these guys, honestly. So we're probably going to have to let all these guys walk, unfortunately. So let's just go ahead and get straight into free agency day one, and we'll see what else there is. Now, would not surprise me if the Browns also went on a major fire sale this offseason. If guys like Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, obviously Myles Garrett, if like those guys became available, they'd be added. They'd get good compensation for those guys. So they could take that direction. They also could just convince themselves that maybe they draft one of these two quarterbacks and things get turned around. There's a lot that the Browns could decide to do. They kept Kevin Stefanski, which I think is the right decision. He hasn't had the greatest quarterback play, obviously. I do believe he coached Baker Mayfield, so he did have him for a little bit. But Jerry Jeudy was obviously amazing this season. You traded for him, and he was great, so that's good. You have a decent offensive line. Njoku, obviously, really good. Cedric Tillman had a concussion and never came back from it, unfortunately. Now, Deshaun Watson, I believe they restructured his contract, so I think we're going to be stuck with him for at least another season, if I'm not mistaken. We can free up $19 million right now to cut him, but it doesn't sound like that's what's going to happen for the Browns this offseason. It sounds like Watson's going to stick around, so I won't do that just yet. But next offseason, trust me, he will be gone as soon as possible. Like I said, defensively, we have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Greg Newsome. There's a lot to like on the defensive side of the football, but there definitely is some things we need to address too. But let's go ahead and spend this little bit of money we have in free agency. We'll try to bring in like at least one player in free agency, I guess, and then most of our additions will obviously come through the draft. We also could make some trades. Like I said, we could trade Myles Garrett away and get like a premium package for him, but I'm going to keep him around. Could trade Greg Newsome, who's been in trade rumors, and do a bunch of stuff. But for now, I'll rock with what we have, and I'll just try to acquire talent to make this team better that way. It's honestly a really good thing we don't need much, or we don't have a lot of money, because this free agency class is very lackluster, unfortunately. It's not a good class at all. But we're going for Cam Robinson. I don't know if we'll get him. The Rams are in on him too to get us a starter. We don't get him, so we don't get Cam Robinson, so that's going to be an L to start things off. Is there anything else? I mean, like I said, this class is just kind of bad. Morgan Moses could be a bridge starter for now. We have DeJuan Jones there, but yeah, we could try to see if we can get Morgan Moses on the team, I guess. Like I said, we definitely need to address this in the draft still, but just spending our little bit of money that we have on a starter, I guess, is fine. And did Moses sign? He did. So we get Morgan Moses, which not the most exciting thing in the world, obviously. Where things will start for us is in the draft. And once we can free up, Deshaun Watson's contract out of here, that'll make things easier as well. Got to draft a quarterback, in my opinion, #2 overall. I've seen some reports that most scouts don't even have a first-round grade on Shedeur Sanders. So will the Browns draft Shedeur at #2 if Cam Ward goes #1? That remains to be seen. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but all in all, we know what the Browns said. They're going to have a dramatic new quarterback room. And to me, I think you got to bring in a quarterback. Our wide receiver room needs more talent as well. Defensively, you could add some more stuff too. But we don't have a lot of cap space to work with to, upgrade everything right now. So let's just jump in the draft and see what we can do there. We'll see who goes number 1 overall to the Titans, and then we'll be picking number 2. So let's see who the Titans take. Advance to next user pick, and that will be Shador going to number 1 overall. So we did just get Cam Ward yesterday, which is kind of why I don't really want to take Cam Ward again here, not going to lie, but I probably will. You also could take Travis Hunter, but that doesn't address the quarterback problem. Could take a corner and Will Johnson and replace, but what I'm going to do is, since we had Cam Ward yesterday, I'm going to draft Cam Ward here, and I'm going to swap Cam Ward and Shador Sanders, just because did not have the same quarterback as yesterday's video. We're going to have Shador on this team instead of Cam Ward, because we all saw a report that, well, it's an early report, and things could change, obviously, but there was a report from Albert Breer said that the Titans love Cam Ward, so we'll see if that ends up being the case when they do draft. But we get our quarterback round 1, which is pretty important. Now we'll see what is available to us here in round 2. So in round 2, we have a strong safety. We have an Ashton Jeanty, low-key, isn't a bad idea because we have Nick Chubb, obviously. But Trey Harris, to me, at Ole Miss, getting another wide receiver in here outside of Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, I think could be the right move. Could bring in TJ Sanders, Ashton Jeanty, or even Malachi Starks. But wide receiver is definitely a need, and I'm going to take Trey Harris here in round 2 to pair with Shador once we get him on the team. So deep threat wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Welcome to Cleveland. Gives us another weapon for Mr. Shador Sanders once we get him on this team. Now we'll go to round 3 and see what we got here. So in round 3, this would probably be offensive line or defensive side of the ball. So let's see what we got. So in round 3, we got Porter, Xavier Watts, Kyle Kennard, Gray Zabel. You can have more wide receivers, which we won't take now. Hampton in round 3 does not sound bad at all to replace Nick Chubb going forward. But all in all, we did, obviously resign Nick Chubb. Jaden Higgins wouldn't have been bad at Iowa State either here, but we already drafted wide receivers, so we won't double down at that. So we don't need a corner. Free safety could be definitely something, and I think that's what we're going to take. We have Juan Thornhill there right now. Probably won't be the long-term starter, so we're going to take Xavier Watts here in round 3 to be our brand new free safety, hidden dev. So I feel pretty good about how we did in this draft. And we have another round 3 pick, so let's go see what that looks like. Very late round 3, but we'll see what we can get there, and we'll let the AI take care of the rest after this selection. So we get a defensive player, a wide receiver, and a quarterback so far. And now we have a corner. We could take a corner. We could take Ollie Gordon in round 3 with this late pick to potentially give us some stability at the running back spot. I think you got to take him. So we're going to take Ollie Gordon here in round 3, and that will give us a running back to potentially rely on when Nick Chubb maybe can't continue to, carry the ball with his injuries. Maybe we shouldn't even re-sign him at all. I don't know. But kept him around. I think in the last Browns video, I let him walk. So to change it up, I got him back. But we're going to go get Shador Sanders on this team, and we'll look at the lineup for year number 1. So let's go take a look at the lineup for year 1 with Shador Sanders under center. And to get him on this team, I did have to reveal his dev trait right away. And it looks like we might have gotten another sneaky draft pick out of our AI. They drafted us a center, which I can't complain, 75 overall. So feeling pretty good about our O-line. So thank you, AI, for taking care of that. Ollie Gordon being a 69 overall is disappointing. I thought it'd be a little bit better. But yeah, Shador Sanders should be hidden dev. But since I had to trade for him, I had to move him like normal to make it easier to trade for him. It's really weird. You can't trade, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I just didn't want to have Cam Ward in this video since we literally just had him in yesterday. So, Shador and Cam Ward, obviously we don't have to worry about them for the rest of the offseason series once we get this one done. We have Trey Harris, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Thrash, Njoku. O-line's looking pretty good. Nick Chubb will remain the starting running back. Still have Jerome Ford. Defensively, we obviously added Watts, who will start right away. We have Jordan Hicks. We have JOK, Grant Delpit. There's a lot to like here. This team should be talented. I definitely think with Shador Sanders here, there's a potential for us to make the playoffs right away. I guess we'll find out. Let's go ahead and simulate to the end of year 1, and we'll see how it all turns out. But it would be really exciting if this team found a way to go from 3-14 to into the playoffs after picking number 2 overall, if that happens. So unfortunately, we do not make the playoffs, but going 9-8 is definitely an improvement. And the one thing we can do this offseason is we can get out of Watson's contract entirely. So we're going to have more cap space to open up. So we're going to be in a good position, but it feels good to have at least had a good season at 9-8 and finish over 500. That's a step in the correct direction, obviously. So we can be pretty happy about that. Obviously, being in the playoffs would have been better, but hey, we'll take a 9-8 season over the alternative at 3-14 as we're on the steady up and up, right? Like, we obviously want to have a progression, not a regression. So I can feel decent about how this season went. We'll take a look at the stats as well. $43 million in cap space. That should open up even more. I don't know if I can cut Watson yet, but we will definitely do that ASAP. So let's see. Is he here? Yeah, $46 million about to come off our books. It's going to be incredible when we can do that. Bye-bye, Deshaun Watson. You can go, and that's going to give us so much more money to work with. So let's go take a look at the stats as well as the Lions beat the Ravens in the Super Bowl, it looks like. So offensively, 20th in the NFL, which isn't terrible. And then defensively, we were 4th in the NFL. Okay, so that's exciting. 27-12 from Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. 27-12 will take that. I am using a different draft class in yesterday's video. I was really disappointed how Cam Ward was only normal dev in the draft class yesterday, so I've swapped back to a one I've used before, and I like this one a lot more already, I think. So 1,000 yards from Nick Chubb, despite all the injuries he's dealt with. Judy had 31 rushing yards as well. Shedeur added 300 on the ground too. Receiving wise, you had 983 from Jerry Jeudy with 12 touchdowns. Trey Harris is a rookie, 900 yards and 4 touchdowns, not bad. Tillman 5 touchdowns and 600 yards, and Njoku 604 touchdowns. Defensively, Myles Garrett, only 9 sacks, is a little disappointing, but 3.5 from Dalvin Tomlinson, 3 from Mike Hall, and 3 from Diabate, and then 4 interceptions from Ward, 2 from Diabate, then 2 from Hicks, and 2 from JOK. But without further ado, let's go ahead and continue to build this team. We're going to have guys we're going to need to re-sign, and obviously there's going to be additions to be made, hopefully in a better free agency class. $89 million in cap space to work with. That could include an important free agent, obviously. So Njoku, definitely important. Greg Newsome, to me, important as well. Emerson, important. Wyatt Teller, he has regressed down to an 81 overall, though, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. Muhammad, I'm going to bring back too. Or is that, I don't know how to say his first name, to be honest with you. Jerome Ford's definitely somebody I want to bring back. Our punter, someone I want to bring back. So we're going to be spending some money this offseason on retaining some guys. But Corey Barroquez, I think is how you say it, is going to hit free agency. So let's start with Jerome Ford. I do want to bring back Jerome Ford to continue to have him in the running back room with Chubb, obviously for insurance. Njoku, to me, is a must re-sign, so let's just go ahead and bring that offer up. And he's going to test free agency. Now, franchise tagging a tight end, which it's $18 million. Have the Browns franchise tagged Njoku before? I feel like they have. I can't get there, though. I cannot franchise tag Njoku, so we might have to try to get him back in free agency, and if not, we might just lose him, which would really suck, obviously, but we'll see if we can get him back in free agency. Martin Emerson, I want to keep this cornerback room the way it is. That's the one thing the Browns do have, is a great cornerback room, so we'll take that. Wyatt Teller, I'm going to try to keep him too. Keep him around, 1-year deal, superstar right guard. And then, last but not least, we'll bring our linebacker too back if we can get him to stick around. Played pretty solid. So our defense was pretty good. So if we can keep that all together, that'd be nice. So Njoku is the one free agent that I'm going to feel pretty bad about losing if we can't get him back in free agency. Franchise tagging him could make a ton of sense here, but we're going to see if we can just negotiate a contract with him. He does have interest in coming back, so hopefully that leans in our favor. And I also want to check out to see if there's any more players that we can cut that we don't obviously care about keeping around anymore. So let's see if there's any obvious players to cut, because I was only really paying attention to Watson earlier when I looked at this. So Ward, I'm not going to cut. Obviously not going to cut Garrett. Jack Conklin saving $14 million on our right side could be definitely important. So, and then Dalvin Tomlinson, I think we can cut him too. So there's going to be 2 obvious cuts here in my opinion. So we'll cut Tomlinson. Does lose us a D-tackle starter, and we'll also cut someone on our O-line too in Jack Conklin. So we'll let those 2 guys go, and we'll free up some even more money there, and we'll see what we can hit in the free agency market, hoping to upgrade this team even further. We have made 5 offers here in free agency, a couple of them being just trying to retain our guys. So we're going for Njoku. We're trying to get Taylor Moen. We're trying to get Rasheed Walker. So trying to get our tackle positions upgraded, because we definitely need some tackles. And Devon Diablo would just be a middle linebacker starter, although I wouldn't mind drafting a middle linebacker if possible. So if we can get all 5 of these guys, that'd be great. So we will get 4 of the 5. Rasheed Walker is going to have to wait. And then I don't know if we'll have enough money to bring back or bring in anybody else, but it was a decent free agency class, but a lot of things we didn't necessarily need. Like, we obviously were going for Njoku over Andrews. Pacheco's interesting, but I think I'll rock with what we have over signing a running back in free agency. We don't need a corner. We got our tackle, which is nice. And we got, Christian Benford's interesting here too. Derrick Henry's here. Evan Ingram's here. So there is a lot of talent here in free agency. But all in all, I feel like most importantly, we could bring back John Conklin too, on a smaller contract, but we're on Rasheed Walker right now, hoping he'll just sign. He is going to take this to the last day potentially, and he will sign. So we're going to get our tackle position addressed. So offensive line should be really good. There should be a guard upgrade we could make, technically too. So that might be something to look into. But all in all, this offense not looking too bad. Shout out to the AI for drafting me as center because we don't have to worry about that anymore. But Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Trey Harris. Feel good about that. Defensively, still need a D tackle. Could use a middle linebacker upgrade too, and could use an edge. So we'll look into all that jumping into this draft, which we'll go ahead and do at this very moment because there's not much money left for us to spend in free agency. So we'll get straight into the draft and continue to upgrade through the draft. But feeling good about the free agency we just had, bringing in a couple guys, protect Shedeur Sanders, and a couple guys on defense. Or Devon Diablo, I guess, was like the only one I think we brought in on defense. But we'll be picking at number 16, so we'll see what is available to us here in this one. So number 1 overall is going to be Zachariah Branch Downs, goes to the Raiders. Ruben Bain, Nico to the Cardinals, so they potentially are, replacing Kyler Murray. Kevin Concepcion going to the Packers. But all right, so you have Jackson Arnold here, which we're not taking a quarterback. Perkins out of Mississippi State, plugging him in down at, so that could be interesting. We could have taken a tackle, could take a guard here too. So what do we want to do? Do we want to upgrade? Or there's a middle linebacker here as well. Jordan Hall out of Michigan. Which one do we want? We want a pass rusher. We signed Devon Diablo, although I love the way Jordan Hall looks. Do I just bank on getting a pass rusher in the next rounds? I think I'm going to take Jordan Hall, man. I like the idea of getting ourselves a coverage middle linebacker here. So we're going to bring him in. Grades look great. Number 6 in true value. Him and JOK should be nice there. So I'm pretty happy with that. And now I'll go to our second round pick and hope we can get a pass rusher there. Hopefully there's a good one. We'll see if I made a mistake. I mean, I still feel good about the pick we made regardless of what happens. But let's see. So we got free safety Ronnie Allen at USC. Markel Hyde. You have Joey Tatum, which doesn't really fit what we're looking for, I guess, at this point. Some wide receiver talents here, too. You got a right tackle. We could take one of these tackles, move them into guard. I actually don't mind the idea of that. So Kevin Harrison looks pretty damn good. So we're going to take him here with our second round pick to address one of the guard positions, and we'll move him inside, and he'll look pretty good there. So O-line should be complete at this point. And now for round 3, we need a middle linebacker. We need a D tackle, or we need a pass rusher in the worst way possible. So hopefully we can get one of the two. All right, so round 3, what do we got? We got corner, we got wide receivers, another middle linebacker here. So maybe we could have waited for middle linebacker based off what we were seeing. But we do have Mr. Callaway here, and we have Walter Lawrence out of Buffalo. So obviously, and then we also have Swan down here too that we could take a look at out of Georgia. Georgia, usually has some dogs, no pun intended. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jonathan Swan here with this third round pick, and that will be it. So number 85 true value. Hindev, though, replaces Dalvin Tomlinson, and I'll let the AI take care of the rest. But all in all, feeling pretty good about the offseason we just had, building on the 9-8 season that we just encountered. So looking at the lineup for year number 2, you got Shedeur Sanders under center, Nick Chubb, Jerry Jeudy, Trey Harris, Njoku, Moulton Teller, Wilson Harrison starting at that left guard position, Rasheed Walker. Feeling really good about what we have on this offense, and defensively I'm feeling pretty good too. Watts, who we drafted, we just brought in Jordan Hall, who's already a 78 overall. Swan's gonna be our new D tackle starter. So this team to me has enough talent to be in the playoffs. We'll just see if that ends up occurring. Hopefully it does, because like I said, I really do truly believe that this could be a playoff team, and hopefully it pays off in that respect. We'll simulate year number 2. Just went 9-8 in the first season, so we'll see. Hopefully things pay off with what we've brought in. Hopefully we find ourselves in the playoffs in year 2 to get Shedeur Sanders. So playoff experience. I don't know if we'll win a Super Bowl this year, but I think we should definitely be in the playoffs, if nothing else. So this is actually very similar to what we encountered yesterday, where we go 6-11, and it looked like we were going to be a good team and make the playoffs, and that just did not happen at all. It was very similar to how the Titans video went yesterday. I thought, hey, we have enough talent that I think we can be in the playoffs, and we just didn't do good at all. So kind of similar situation here, where I thought we'd be a playoff team at the very least, and things just went south. So it looks like there's going to be a lot more work to be done. So we'll have to get straight to work and continue to build this roster even further. We have $114 million in cap space to work with, so that's good at least. But let's see where we went wrong. So offensively, took a massive step back. You got to wonder the playbook of that being a problem, because Chubb probably needs to be moved on from as well. I brought in Ollie Gordon thinking he'd eventually take the role, but he was not good in the draft class like I thought he would be. Tillman, Trey Harris, and Jerry Jeudy, they're all solid, but yeah, offense took a massive step in the wrong direction this offseason. Defense continues to be really good. So to me, it's all about replacing our running back situation, maybe bringing another wide receiver. Playbook change will probably be in order as well. So that is what is all going to be in line to make sure we're in the playoffs next year, because there's no reason if we do things right here, we wouldn't be in the playoffs next year. Now, there is some important free agents to be concerned about, but actually not as bad as it could be. So obviously, Myles Garrett is very important. No matter what we do here, he has to be part of the plans going forward. And if he decides to say no to our offer, he's a franchise tag. But he's going to resign. He'll stay a Cleveland Brown. Grant Delpit, to me, don't really want to worry about replacing him. Although there could be a good, strong safety in this free agency class, I'm just going to keep him around. Wyatt Teller, going to continue to keep him as well. I think that gives about $50 million in cap space to work with. And then Cedric Tillman, honestly, I'm fine with letting him go. And let's go find another wide receiver, in my opinion. So let's get straight to free agency and running back. Maybe we should have signed Pacheco last offseason. Maybe that would have been something we needed to do. But offensive line should be good. And then is Nick Chubb, is there an out on his contract? Because he probably just needs to go at this point. So let's see. $24 million in Denzel Ward, obviously not getting him. Nick Chubb saving $4 million down to a 74 overall. Yeah, I'm sorry, I love you, Nick Chubb and all, but we're gonna use that money elsewhere. It's just time to let you go, my friend. All right, so let's take a look at the lineup after all that said and done. We'll see if there's a good running back in this class. That would be good. And then pass rusher still, I think, is something we need opposite of Garrett. But running back, another wide receiver, offensive line I feel really good about. And then defensively, Jordan Hall, wow, 87 overall superstar X Factor. Yeah, I feel good about that. So to me, on the defense, all we really need is a pass rusher. And Hall went up superstar too. So pass rusher on defense would be in order. And let's see what else we can get on offense. As you guys already know what I kind of said, what I said we needed. There's actually some damn good free agents here, and unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to get what we want. I actually made an offer for Rashee Rice. It wasn't even close to being accepted, so I just gave up on that. I got Jordan Addison in yesterday's video, so I'm trying to stay away from that. So here are the guys we're going after: Josh Downs, DeAndre Swift, and Leonard Williams. If we can get these three guys, I'd feel pretty good about that. If we could sign all three of them, that would give us what we're looking for. So we do get all three, and we still have the draft impending too. So that gives us a really good lineup around what we have, and I think that's still going to be good enough to be in the playoffs next year, hopefully. And then, so like Josh Downs is going to be a massive upgrade from Cedric Tillman. Jerry Jeudy is still the wide receiver 1, which I can rock with based off how he played the season. Getting Swift is nice. Defensively, I think adding Leonard Williams opposite of Myles Garrett is fantastic. So all this to be said, let's jump in the draft and draft whatever luxury we can, because obviously we'll have a good pick. Let's go see what we can get in this draft. So we'll be picking number 7 overall here in this one in 2027. So let's see what we got on the board. I'm going to be just drafting kind of best available player, I think. So what we got? We got a center, we got a corner, we got a tackle, got a free safety, a D tackle. We have Simmons. Honestly, taking Simmons opposite of, yeah, I actually kind of like the idea of that a lot. So I am going to go ahead and take Simmons out of USF. Yeah, screw it. We're going to take him here in round 1. He may not be as good as we have with Leonard Williams right now, but I'm going to feel accomplished. I'm going to feel hope that he could become the successor to Myles Garrett and Leonard Williams eventually, because, you know, Leonard Williams may not be as good going forward. He's going to fall off maybe a little bit. Now, we do have a couple running backs here, which I definitely think it could make sense to take one. Terrence Jackson out of Arizona State. Chance Ramsey out of Oklahoma. I don't know much about these running backs, but this one looks pretty good. So this will probably be the only other pick we make, and I'm going to let my AI take care of the rest. Number 4 in true value drafted number 40. So we might have drafted our number 1 running back going forward, which is exactly what we kind of needed. So with that, we're going to go into year 3 with a playbook, new playbook, 100%. That way we can finally have a good offense and be in the playoffs. We got to be in the playoffs next season. If we're not, it's unacceptable. So here's the lineup going into next season. Shedeur Sanders and Ramsey are basically twins in the backfield here, as you guys can see. I'm going to start him right away. Based off the value he was given, I can only imagine he's going to be a damn good running back, so he's going to play immediately over DeAndre Swift. Only signed DeAndre Swift because I thought maybe there wouldn't be a good running back in the draft, and I was wrong. There was a good one, so we're going to give him the opportunity to be good right away. Defensively, Simmons is going to be playing behind Leonard Williams, but still looks like they drafted us another corner. But this team has to be in the playoffs. If they don't make it, I'm going to be a very upset man. So let's see if we actually, to be honest with you, this is a Super Bowl type team at this point. That's the expectations I have on this roster right now. So let's see if we can make that happen. So at the end of the season, we finished up at 10-7 and make the playoffs. That's all I really wanted to see because we built this roster to do just that. It looks like the Ravens missed out. The Jets, Bills, you have the Texans, Raiders, Chiefs. Okay. So 12-5 looks like it got you the first seed for the Buffalo Bills. So only two games away from being the first seed. So I guess it was a pretty low winning season in the AFC at the very least. Offensively, only 19th in NFL, but Shador was 38th in passing, or 4th in NFL in passing touchdowns. Defensively, top. Okay, so our running attack was still non-existent, unfortunately. Although it looks like Shador Sanders got involved, and Chance Ramsey, the guy I thought was gonna like just be amazing. He is superstar dev, which is good, but didn't have like 1,000 yards or anything like that. Trey Harris 1,000 yards, almost 60 yards off from being 1,000 from Josh Downs. 800 from Judy, 800 from Njoku, and 9 touchdowns. Defensively, sacks wise, you had 5.5 from Myles Garrett is absolutely insane. 3 from Denzel Ward, 3 from Grant Delpit, and 2 from Greg Newsome. But looks like we get to go play our fellow Ohio team in round 1. So let's go see if we can go to Cincinnati, take care of business. I mean, we're a better overall than them across the board. Doesn't obviously mean everything, but hopefully it works out in our favor. So Joey Burrow, as we all know, is a problem. He did not make the playoffs in real life this season based off, they started 0-3 to start the season, and they just really couldn't recover from it. But we will go up 7-0 and get an interception from the rookie we drafted in the very first offseason, and now we're up 14-0 on our fellow Ohio team. We just got to keep the foot on the pedal. 21 zip so far. As long as we don't blow a 21-0 lead, we're headed to the next round, 24-8. And if they make this 24-16, this game becomes interesting, but they will not. That'll be all she wrote. They also had Cam Scatterboo too, interesting enough. But just like that, we're going to win Wild Card Weekend, and we're moving on to the divisional round, sweat-free. We beat the Bengals pretty easily. So after beating the Cincinnati Bengals, we'll be playing the other powerhouse who just had the first seed bye. They're off a rest week, and we'll see if we can head to Buffalo and cause some noise in Buffalo. So we're going to go down 7-0, but we will respond very quickly with our own touchdown, but the Bills are not playing around either. We're going to have to score points. We do get an interception from JOK. We get a field goal off of it, and now there's 31 seconds left in the second half. So we're at our own 15. I'm going to see if I can come out here and get us a touchdown out of before the half is over, or at least get us in field goal range. But we have 2 timeouts to work with. I want to see if I can make some magic happen here, because scoring here would really put us in a great position. And we are going to have Njoku. Wow, that was actually that was a pretty close throw. That probably shouldn't have been completed, but I threw it right in the window where Njoku came out. Man, that was pretty scary. But we might have Trey Harris is going to have to make a contested catch. He will not. It's 2nd and 10, 19 seconds left. But fine with taking that shot. He was one-on-one. Had to see what would happen if we took the shot. All right, now I'm looking for Jerry Jeudy over to the right side if he can clear, and it will not be there. So instead, we'll take a sack. 3rd and 23. Buffalo will call their timeout. So it looks like they're looking to score some points here. But we will try to recover from this and see if we can't get a first down somehow. Obviously, going to be a lot harder. Easier said than done. But we'll see if they allow like Jeudy to walk free or something. Maybe he actually might. Can I get it to him? This might be there. And it was there technically, but there's 9 seconds left in the clock. So now we got to go punt the ball back to Buffalo, and they should be able to score. And we got the ball. So can we go score here? And no, it'll be 10-17 now. So now we need to score to tie this game technically. So let's go see if we can do that, which I believe we can. Pretty rough so far gameplay wise, but we can recover from this. And I'm going to have Josh Downs underneath technically. I even pulled him closer to the route to get that ball to him, but good play by the defender there, so can't even be mad at it. All right, we're going to throw Trey Harris on a go route, and we'll see if we can get something. He's there. This has to be completed, and it is. That's what we've been looking for this entire time we've jumped in against Buffalo. Finally got something to shake our way. Been pretty disastrous before that. Looks like, we're going to go to Njoku here, and he is going to make a catch at the 5, and we'll be in scoring position. We just want to tie this ball game, and now we'll hand it off to our running back that we drafted in round 2. Let's see if we can just punch him in the end zone, and we're going to get closer. There's a flag maybe for holding, unfortunately. So That'll be 10 yards back. That's pretty disappointing, but we'll have to take it, man. There's nothing we can do. So on our own 13. So we'll get a repeat of first down at the very least. But yeah, obviously, you know, being 10 yards back after we were just in the 5, pretty unfortunate. So, or at the 3 or whatever we're at. So, Njoku maybe is there. Maybe threw this too late, but he's going to come back to it. And now we'll be able to tie the game. So now just need our defense to get us a stop. And they will not. It's going to be 20-17. So all we need to do now is score quickly again. So we can do that. We just, you know, went down the field finally. It took us a little bit to have a good drive, but we finally made it happen. So we're going to have our tight end here wide open. And that's going to be a nice chunk. About to say, can we juke them out of their socks to go even further? But that was a beautiful play. And now we're going to run this to the left side. Get our running back involved. And that should go for... Nope, just kidding. If we would have gotten that corner, that could have went for a lot longer. But Terrell Bernard made a good play on the ball. So Bills rushing defense been 24th in the league, and we have not been able to run on them. It looks like we haven't ran the ball like attempts wise either. So maybe that's the story. I don't know. But let's see. We got... I was going to try to hit Njoku here, but we probably just have to scramble this upfield. That is dangerous. I'm surprised I didn't fumble, honestly. So we are in territory to obviously tie this game with a field goal, but I'm looking for the lead here with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. So we need a first down, so we'll see if we can get it. Going to look for one of these underneath routes. They're going to bring the blitz. So you know what? We're going to go to Jerry Jeudy here. Back shoulder throw. I guess it really wasn't back shoulder, but we took it to him. We knew he was one-on-one. They brought the heat, and it worked out in our favor. We're going to run the ball. Let's run the ball. We're going to be right before the 2-minute warning. We just get him in the end zone here. Blocks are there. We're going to walk into the end zone. 24-20. Now we got to see if the defense can get a stop, and they don't. 24-27. All we need to do is get in field goal range. We can do that. 19 seconds left. Field goal range is possible. Just got to make sure we allow our routes to develop downfield. But yeah, so I don't mind this spot right now. Can't take a sack, but I am going to get hit. Josh Downs would have been there on the corner route. That would have been a very nice completion. We have Dustin Hopkins. All we can afford to do now is basically get in field goal range. I don't think a touchdown is on the board right now, but I guess you never know. Jerry Jeudy might be open right now. No, they're going to bring... I'm going to have Y, though. That was a very dangerous throw, but we'll call our first timeout. 9 seconds left. So that went over the linebacker's head. And now we'll go to our traditional 4 verticals. Now, if they allow someone to be one-on-one, we're going to take the shot. But that could be risky with the amount of time left in the clock. But I'm going to go up to Jerry Jeudy. 5 seconds left. Walk-off touchdown. Yes. 30-27. That is all she wrote. And we're moving on to the AFC Championship. The Buffalo Bills decided to... And it looked like they were actually doubling Jerry Jeudy, but they just let him both walk free. So we're going to move on to the next round, feeling very good about what we just accomplished. And now we're in the AFC Championship game, and we get to have a rematch from pretty much last year in real life. Joe Flacco obviously went to go play the Texans. It was a disaster. CJ Stroud and the Texans got it done. Flacco was pretty bad in that game, if I remember correctly. But this could be our chance to get redemption for our boy Joe Flacco. We start off with the football here, and it looked like we're about to go move the ball and score, but it's 0-0 so far. Fumble recovery by our middle linebacker. It is a 3-0 game now. And now it's 3-3, and we will finally draw the first touchdown of the game. And now it'll be the Texans lead 13-10, but we will take it back 17-13. This to get to the Super Bowl. We have a game-winning drive, and yes, well, we didn't have a game-winning drive, but our defense just held up. So we beat the Texans, and now we're headed to the Super Bowl. So we complete the AFC gauntlet. So let's go see who will be in front of us in the Super Bowl. Hopefully it's someone other than the Eagles, because we lost to them yesterday, I believe, in the Titans video, if I remember correctly. So let's go see who it will be this time around. And of course, as I said it, they are here. It is the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm pretty sure it was the Texans in the AFC Championship in yesterday's video too. So I guess these two teams just always are going to be here, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't stick around. But we got to stop on defense to start off, and they'll be up 7-0 now. Are we going to lose to the Eagles 2 days in a row here, man? No, we get a touchdown to tie it up. Now they will get a field goal. We'll have the ball at a half. Can we go score here? We do. 13-10. And now... we got to stop. Fumble recovery. Can we go score off the fumble recovery? We do. It's 20-10. And now we get another interception. And no, we will not lose to the Eagles 2 days in a row. We will beat them the second day and win a Super Bowl with Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns. Philadelphia falls short. We lost them in yesterday in the Titans video, but this time in the Browns video, we make up for it. So we're moving on. I guess there's no, what am I talking about? We're not moving on to anything. We won. So gonna end it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, next will be, I actually don't even know who's picking. Is it? Oh, it's the Patriots, right? The Patriots are picking number 3, I'm pretty sure. So that will be an interesting one, whether they decide to take Travis Hunter or McMillan. It'll be interesting, but I'll see you guys in that one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.